Hello and welcome to the Green Machine. We're live and we're sexy. I'm Dave, your host, joined as always by Martin. No Nick, 2 weeks running. Martin, what is Nick up at? He doesn't love the I can't even speak. It's so hot, isn't it?
It's hotter than a Davy Dunn date. There you go.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely boiling. And so if my camera just malfunctions, you know what's happened here anyway. But yeah, thank you for joining us. If your camera and your internet hasn't completely shut down, as always, not only are we live, we are interactive. So we want to hear from you. Have you say, leave your comment and get involved. Ask us a question. I don't care. Give us abuse.
I do care.
Martin cares. I don't, especially if it's directed at Martin. So bit of a quiet week this week, obviously, with no matches on, literally. Well, it was one. We'll talk about that later on, but it wasn't exactly a professional game. But bit of a quiet week, Martin. Not a lot going on. You do have a bit of news for us coming up, don't you, with the tickets? So, you know, if you want your ticket sorted, talk to Martin the Greek over there.
Yeah, ticket news, yeah, just from the FAI, a little bit of stuff, yeah.
Little bit of stuff. So we'll get to that. It's just mostly a bit of transfer news and all that stuff. And of course, we have it's not really this week back in the day, but we do obviously have a little retro throwback and a bit of a tribute to the late, great Jack Charlton, who we lost on this day yesterday, 2 years ago. It's the second anniversary of the legend himself, Jack Charlton. So, we'll have a usual tribute for that. Anyway, let's get into it, Martin. Let's have a look. Let's see what we're doing with our boys in green. I think there's only one place really to start, and that is the rumor around Mr. Nathan Collins. Where will he end up? Will he be the most expensive Irish player of all time? All these things going around. Remember his goal against the Ukraine in Łódź, not Lodz, Łódź. And obviously Martin is doing a lot of speculation going around. So here's the latest one. This is Gordon Kenny's kids, and it's around the place as well, that apparently Wolves are very close to signing him for a fee in the region of £20.5 million. Everything's going really well. It probably is going to get over the line more than likely. It seems to be everywhere. It wouldn't be the worst move in the world, would it?
It wouldn't be. No, it's not a bad move. He's got to be playing in the Premier League, and I'm pleased that he'll get that move. I'm going to be a bit skeptical whether it could be Wolves, though. I'd be very surprised if someone doesn't let them. What seems to be happening this transfer window, or the rumours we're hearing, is clubs are. There's a lead club in most negotiations, and other teams are coming in and trying to torpedo out the water, basically. I'll give you a bit of a war analogy there, David. I know you like that. I love the wink as well. That was a wink.
Oh, yeah, sorry. For those of you listening on the audio version of this, which will be coming up straight afterwards, Nick will do that, I'm sure, at some stage, since he can't be arsed being on the live one. He might as well edit the recorded one. This will be available on the podcast site as well. So sorry, Martin, I've interrupted.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, he was winking at me there. Yeah, I'd be surprised if someone doesn't come in late with a bid here to match the Wolves and have a look at this. 20.5 million. It's a fantastic deal, I think, getting him in there, because I think potentially he can go right to the top. And I can't believe like a bigger club isn't going to take a punt at him for that kind of money. 20.5 million, like Man United. I mean, look, I'm a Man United fan, but I can't see any hesitation in like even Arsenal or something having a look at him and thinking, the likes of Newcastle as well, a bigger club than Wolves could possibly come in there for him.
Do you not think, though, that you don't really want him to go to a mid-table club? I don't know. Okay, Wolves are a mid-table. Sorry, that's not a good start. I know what you're saying, but he needs to be playing week in, week out. So he's not going to play.
So he will. Yeah, so he will do that with Wolves. He will do that with Wolves,
Yeah.
And I think so that wouldn't be a bad move. But I could see him. All right, maybe not Newcastle because of where they kind of want to go as a club. They probably want to bring in big names soon with their owners and stuff like that, the structure of how they go. But I could just see another team, perhaps at the Wolves kind of level, coming in there and saying, look, we're actually going to take a punt when you hit. Like a Leicester could easily come in there, couldn't they, for him? Would be no problem for me. I think they got interested.
I really wanted a Leicester coming in there because obviously Brendan Rodgers is a great coach, and you know he plays the style of football he likes, doesn't he? Ball playing centre half, you know, but then Wolves as well. I mean, Wolves they do have a very good side. I think they've suffered a bit obviously with the European football, and they've gone back a bit and have sold some of the best players. Obviously Matt Doherty, the Spurs, for example. But then another example would be Matt Doherty, the Spurs. You know, Spurs are a top 4 team, aren't they?
Yeah, literally.
They are, yeah. You know, so I think it's good because I would like to see Nathan Collins basically use this club as a stepping stone. Sorry to any Wolves fans out there and the whole 3 Wolves fans that are in Ireland. You know, I apologise to you all. Come on, let's be honest. There's not many out there, is there? I'm sure there are. They're gonna fucking tell me in a minute. But you know, you want him to use it as a stepping stone. You don't want him at a club where he goes, "Oh, this is cozy," and then you know he does like a Seamus Coleman and stuck at some tiny little club for a few years. You know, don't really want that.
Yeah, I think a key point with this as well, and it's what I use when I talk about the goalkeepers. They need to be playing, and he does need to play. You think of the competition for centre halves for our team at the moment. There's a lot of competition. Omar Bamadeli down at Norwich. Obviously Shane Duffy. Look, he's got to obviously have a look at Shane Duffy's career and see what happened there because didn't play enough then. You know, he didn't play enough. Got released then off to Celtic and stuff. So he really does need to think about this move quite cleverly that he's going to be playing a lot.
Just looking at some of the comments here, Jerry Murray. Hello, Jerry. How are you doing? We've got a few. Don't worry, we'll read the rest of your comments out. We're gonna try something different. We're gonna have a look at some of the comments that are specific to each conversation. So if I make a balls of it, you understand. I do apologize. We are learning. But Jerry Murray says he'd be better at United than Batchloaf Head McGuire.
the captain of Man United announced today.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah. Anyway, just a little segue to club football. I know we try to avoid it unless we're talking about Irish players. You know, as a United fan, God love you, are you not incredibly worried about how Man United are conducting their business? It's a bit shit, really, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a complete mess of a club, though, isn't it? So that's it.
Like,
no, I'll be honest, it is, and you know, like can't get any of these deals across the line. And why is that? I can't see who they're trying to move out, and they're obviously going off on tour now, playing that little side from Merseyside tomorrow.
Everton, is it?
No, it's not. No. Well, the team's still obsessed with Man United. They've been shite for 10 years. Still mentioned them in the press conference. Klopp. First thing he said.
Tranmere Rovers, was it?
That's it, yeah. But anyway, we'll see how that goes tomorrow.
It's
a very strange one. It's a very strange one. Anyway, we're here to talk about Irish football. All right.
All right. I'll have the last word. And it come from the lad who, like, when Liverpool are playing, fucking sends an essay on Twitter over there, which you can see at Prendy M. Anyway, no Prendy Rebel because Nick's not on. Can never get it right. But anyway, yeah, just. You know, the final word on it is United are a joke. But anyway, right. So yeah, so see what you've done, Jerry. You started a row. It's the heat. Let's have a look. Graham Farrell, Leicester. Brendan Rodgers will ruin him. His teams can't defend. The year we Liverpool challenged for the Prem, we could see the 50 goals. Yes, but we scored 52.
I enjoyed that year.
Did you?
Minor slip, I think, wasn't there? Anyway. We're not going to talk about that club football. Let's get on with this.
I've been enjoying. Well, you know what, man? I've been enjoying the last 9 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Greg Farrell. Wolves will be a decent move for him. Slotting in beside Cody in the back 3. Kenny will be pleased. He loves the back 3. Josh Cullen to Burnley from Anderlecht is a surprise. Oh no, Graham! You've spoiler alerts. Yeah, We're going to talk about that later. Fuck's sakes. For Anderlecht, it's a surprise why he'd give up a top flight club for the championship. Well, I suppose it's home for him. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's all right. Fuck it. Cat's out of the bag. Let's talk about Josh Cullen. Let's have a little look at him there. So Josh Cullen, basically, we think he's going to go to Burnley. I think everyone thinks he's going to go to Burnley. He's linked. Fee to believe to be in the region of 3.5 million euros. Left the training camp for a medical today. Don't know how that's gone. And if he does move, he will link back up with Vincent Kompany, who started him in every single league match for Anderlecht last season. He's given up potential Europe. Well, he's given up European football to go back to Burnley, to go back to England and play in the Championship. Is this the case? Is this loyalty to the manager? Is this a better career move? What do you make of this one, Mark? This is strange. Is it money?
It's. I think it's a combination of both. Obviously, the company thing's massive. I think we've seen some videos. I've seen some viral videos of a company in the dressing room, the kind of standards he sets. I can imagine being in there. He's a proper leader, wasn't he, Vincent Kompany? And I think it was just inspired to play for him. He seems to be maybe a coach going places. He's got his move now to the to the Championship, probably with the role, the challenge of getting them up. So they will. I think Burnley will be strong enough to come back up. There's no obviously guarantee on that. The Championship is very, very competitive, but I think he's obviously set a marker straight away that out of all his squad over there, managers do raid their previous clubs. He's bringing Josh Cullen back basically into English football, and he's going to build that team around him, like the defensive setup. He'll know the qualities of a defensive midfielder. Loved him obviously in Anderlecht and played him all the time. Probably one of his best players. So he's thinking, I'm bringing you with me because I know what I'm going to get with you. You'll get me out of that division because he'll set his stone on that defensive kind of profile that he's got. And I do a sound job. Financially for Josh Cullen, got to be more money, I'd imagine, than Anderlecht. So it's a good move. He's 26, I think. So again, it could be a stepping stone. He can come straight back up into Premier League, having a brilliant season in the Championship with Burnley, or he's on his profile's going to be there for all to see, and perhaps get a move. He probably wants to be back in England, to be honest, if his manager's gone.
I think that's a bit of that, isn't it? I think it's, it's probably a bit.
He's just got engaged as well, I think, and he's going to be a family man, probably settling down. So that's an important kind of thing, a little bit of kind of a solid base behind you and stuff. So
it's
important.
It's a tough one for me. Can he cut it in the Premier League? Can he cut it in the Championship? I don't know.
He definitely can. He definitely can in the Championship. I think he can. And this is it'll be battle. Look, Glenn Whelan went down divisions. I know he went down a lot of divisions, but he's an incredible player, Josh Cullen, I think, and I think he's
different type of midfielder
role as well. He is, yeah, but that role though, I think it suits him very well, and I think he will do well. I think he will do well there.
I don't know. He has to adapt. I don't think he can go in there. I've never watched him play for Anderlecht. I'll be completely honest about that. I've only ever watched him for Ireland. Now, obviously, our international football is a slower standard of football because obviously the players aren't together as much as they are. So it will be a lot slower. The highest level of football, they reckon, or used to be back in the day. The issue I have with Josh Cullen is his distribution. He's that sitting midfielder, and he has to, he's in charge of distribution from the midfield. He's got the two lads in front of him. I think his distribution needs to be looked at and worked on, and I think he needs to get quicker. And I think that is why Moyes never gave him a chance at West Ham, because that distribution just was not fast enough. So I do think he needs to work on that personally. That's just a preference, and that sorry, that's just an opinion.
Yeah, I think in that role, though, I think you evolve with your understanding of the game a lot as you get older. You think of like former wingers, I even think of like John Barnes, Ryan Giggs went from being out and out wingers to coming into centre midfield and running the game. I think it's a role you can definitely mature into with your understanding of the game, and I think he's only going to get better. He's going to be approaching his peak years now, and I think he's going to be a key player for us anyway, Ireland. And it's a clever move from him because I think he's going with a manager who has a lot of faith in him and will play him week in, week out. That's what we've seen him do. He's going to do the same at Burnley. He'll build that team around him, defensively around him. He'll build that. He'll be the one to sit in front of that back four or whatever way he goes, and away you go, basically.
Just got some really good comments here just about that. Daryl O'Connor, poor move for Cullen. I'd stick with Anderlecht for me. Jerry Marnie, very good player. Cullen, he is a good player. He does a job for Ireland, but as I said, I just think his distribution is a little bit slow. Graham Farrell, yeah, agree. He's very good as a deep line midfielder. I think he should wait and get some European experience this season and then maybe come back. Burnley are a mess financially and with players leaving. We were just talking about Nathan Collins there. And Declan Finnegan, Championship midfield is a battlefield, very physical and not a lot of time in the ball. Exactly it.
Declan would know because he goes and watches QPR
Yeah,
week
and
week
that's
out. So
and that just sort of emphasizes my fears there with Cullen. But listen, he might adapt to it, and it might make him a better player, more hard and more physical, and quicker. Sorry, Martin, you were going to say something there.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Must have been a lie. Must have been a lie. And Graham Farrell, every time I hear I watch this, Martin mentions this. He does, Graham, doesn't he? He just can't. He can't help
100%.
himself, Graham, can he? Has to mention
I didn't
Liverpool
bring it
all the
up.
time.
I didn't bring you up.
I mean, I never.
I look forward to you listening back and seeing that I never brought him up.
Never mention it. Every week, Martin just has to have a go.
I got asked.
Has to have a nibble.
Okay.
Typical United fan. God Almighty. You haven't got your pal.
I'm a United Ireland fan. Reading
playing words there, eh?
Yeah.
Playing words. How are they getting on in the Women's Euros, Northern Ireland?
They lost, didn't they?
Is that 2 out of 2?
Yeah.
Nick wanted to mention them. I mean, we have done. I'll tell you. what good can come from that, Nick? Bless him.
I had to look up. They've got a hashtag, and I know this sounds really pathetic, and I do kind of follow. Well, I feel I do follow the Irish national team, women's team, and what goes on with them and stuff. But I had to look up GAWA, GAWA hashtag, which is Green and White Army. Basically, that's what the hashtag was for Northern Ireland. I actually had to look that up though, and I'm probably a little bit embarrassed thinking of that now, how simple it was. But I think they had a good day out. It seems to be quite a good tournament that Women's Euros. But again, I think we're seeing like some absolute thrashings going on now, and
it'd be cricket scores
competitive. Yeah.
There will be, of course there will.
There is, I think. Norway won the other night, and then they've been
17-9-0, is it? Or?
Then they've been hammered tonight, so it's crazy tournament.
If you know,
yeah, England women are beating Norway women 7-0.
Right? England are beating Norway 7-0.
Yeah,
they're just gonna get to the final or the semis, aren't they? And then America wins it.
That America can't win it, can they? It's the Euros.
Oh yeah, fucking. They'll find a way, Martin. They'll find a way.
Oh, sorry. Norway women beat Northern Ireland women 4-1 last week, and then they lost tonight 2-0. But Norway women are being beaten by England 7-0. That just shows you the different levels of women's football. Sadly, and I kind of do. I've been watching a lot more of the Irish women's football, seeing how they're getting on, and they're doing very, very well under Vera Pauw.
They're improving,
and we've got that big game coming up with Finland soon as well. So, yeah,
like next game, Finland, no date or.
No date, yeah.
Fucking hell! I always find it funny though, especially. When Northern Ireland is Green and White Army, like no mention of orange there, considering special day for those lads there tomorrow. Anyway, Jesus Christ, moving on.
Yeah, we better move on.
They'll be coming after us next. Jason Knight, linked with Werder Bremen of the Bundesliga, Deutsche Bahn, age 21. They won a huge fee derby, of course, because they're bankrupt. Bremen have just recently been promoted back to the Bundesliga. That's a bit out of left field, really, isn't it?
It is really, but I mean, he's one of them players. A lot of our younger players are on the profile now, with on the radar. Sorry, of Italian teams, Spanish teams, things like that. They are looking at young Irish footballers, and he would have quite a high profile in the sense that done very well with Ireland when he's come on. I think back to the Luxembourg game away when he was brilliant when he came on, changed the game completely.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney as well, with his profile and speaking so highly of him when as the manager, I think that would actually stand him in good stead as well. But I don't know. He's 21. I think he needs to get out of Derby and he's got to get in another championship side, well, he's got to play, hasn't he? He's definitely got to play. He's another one now. You think Stephen Kenny? For me, I think after the Luxembourg away game, I was thinking, God, he really loves him. He made the game, absolutely changed the game. He's going to be like one of the first names on the team sheet. But he wasn't then, so he needs to kind of get a good run of games now, get more experience, and really hit the ground running again when he gets back.
Absolutely. Just want to say hello to Nikki, who's watching, another fan of the podcast there.
Oh, Jesus.
Just comments coming in there. Jerry Marnie, Morons Day tomorrow. What could you mean? I actually meant to click on this comment here. Graham Farrell, Jason United Brown would be class. About time our best players get moves abroad. Think he could do really well over there. Yeah, he could. I mean, as Martin said there, like he's a quality player. I mean, could you imagine him playing League One, Martin? That's just not on.
No, he can't be playing League One. It's got to be Championship. I think if he goes to Premier League at 21, he might not get regular games. I think that's what he needs to do, basically. So Championship might be the one for him. But then again, Declan made a fantastic point there earlier. For a very clever technical player like him, it will be a lot quicker in the Championship. Cut and thrust a bit might not suit his game. It's a results business even more in that Championship. Like, you grind out results. It's very, very physically competitive. Teams beat each other week in, week out and stuff like that. You can't really predict results. It's such a leveler. And I think where a lot of managers will grind out the result, they might not have room for a kind of luxury player, a technical player like that, a clever kind of player. Whereas, I think Josh Cullen could do well in that level. And be a bit more battle hardened to it, whereas Jason Knight might be perceived as a bit of a luxury player coming in there. And then even if he's in the Premier League, I can't see him playing enough and starting games. I don't think he's got that about him yet. He's only 21, so it's all for him to happen, what he wants to do. But he's got to get out of there, hasn't he?
Oh, Jesus, yeah. They'll have him washing the kid. Have him probably cooking the food. At Derby. They're that fucking broke. I was going through some of the archives today, which I'm organising now and going to start getting more of these cool old photographs out. And it was a picture of Niall Quinn and Man City, and he's there ironing the shirts. And I thought, that'd be Jason Knight. Fucking ironing the shirts and cooking the food.
Interesting you say, just brought up Niall Quinn. We should have had this as one of our social media watch where he name drops the Dog and Duck in Winchmore Hill, which is my local, as being back in the day where he would be in London, and after training he would end up in there for a few pints after kind of the Tuesday sessions with Arsenal. He'd end up going back in the evening to the Dog and Duck and then hit the Gouty Moor and the National and stuff. So had a good old time now around here, to be honest.
Yeah, you should have sent that to me, Martin, because
I
can't I'm fucking saying it to me now when we're live. Jesus Christ. You see when I'm working with people, the other fella doesn't care. Martin's fucking withholding information from me. See, Nick's not here and all goes to shit. That's what happens. Christ. Anyway, right, moving on. It always sends it to a bit of a farce when you and I run. Speaking of a farce, Korea. So we've got Spurs are over in Korea. That's another farce. And we have the three Irish lads there. Troy Parrott, Matt Doherty, and what's the other lad's name, Martin?
Oh, God, I don't know. Early? No, I don't even know. Sorry. I'm geared up to talk about something else with this, which I'm quite keen to talk about, and I don't even know.
Do you know what?
That's really poor.
That is shocking.
I didn't even think about it, to be honest. Honestly, and I wouldn't mind. I've been chatting to my mate who's a Spurs fan all day, and kind of I'm actually going to see the under-21s with Spurs tomorrow, and I was saying which Irish players will possibly be there and stuff, and I didn't even think about it, to be fair. Keeley, sorry. I knew it was ends in EY. There you go, Keeley.
Yeah,
there you go.
You know what?
Finger on the pulse.
I had his name written down on a thing and I deleted it. And I was like, shit. And I thought, shit, Martin, you'll know. And he didn't. We are having an absolute cracking time here tonight. Off the ball are just going to be knocking down my door. Fucking hell. But he has signed from St. Pat's anyway, and he's done very well. Young goalkeeper there. Now, chance of getting into the first team are obviously going to be quite slim. But Conte, he does want the lads over there. I mean, he wants Troy Parrott over there, especially the fittest man in the Spurs team. Apparently in pre. I mean, he hasn't had a pre.
Yeah,
he's had a pre. Well, he has had a preseason, hasn't he? He's just played.
This was the point I wanted to make. I know, I think we make too much of this pre-season stuff, and they didn't have a pre-season and stuff like that. These are professional footballers at the end of the day, and they. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Dave's just putting on his lanyard for the visitors. For the listeners who can't see this, very poor of him not to have that on. But no, my point on that is like we make such a thing of pre-season, and I don't want to bring about Man United and stuff, but like people talk about Rashford looks so fit and so toned, and they've all been doing their like little home motivational physical workout videos and stuff like that. It's just PR bullshit, isn't it, really, to be honest? And even today we're talking about the fact that in Korea, they did a 4.5 kilometer run after the game where in really humid conditions, and players were dropping out of it, and all the talk of it is who's the fittest player, and it's apparently Troy Parrott. But these are professional athletes getting paid thousands of pounds to be in that condition, and it's brilliant for Troy that he's showing. I had seen videos of him that he was back there and he was doing very, very well, and had kind of come back a week earlier, I believe, to training because he really wants to give it a go at Tottenham, which is rightly so. But I think he's in peak condition. He's just finished playing with Ireland a month ago, so he's had his little break. They're not slobbing on the beach and pissing it up flat out now as they used to, and just coming back a stone or two overweight. But they're professional athletes now, and and they're knowing that God, if they come back in that condition, they're gonna be in. They're just not going to get a chance. So it's in their interests professionally to come back the right way.
Terry Murray, Man United, Patchloaf, Ed Maguire is having his pre-season in Brennan's Bakery.
Jesus. But I think commended him for it. Fantastic he's on the tour as well. The other thing I'd say about that is like we're getting these like PR videos now. The football's changed so much. I'm sounding really old now saying this, but pre-season used to be about the new kit. You'd only get to see the new kit because the team photo would be taken, and that was the kind of launch of the kit. Look how special it's done now, or even a player staying. There's like a video to it, and it's brilliant. It's lovely for the kind of younger generation. It's not my cup of tea, to be honest, but love seeing some of it. But videos of them on the plane, video diaries of players and stuff, and it's brilliant because it's really, really analysed as well. Though it makes me laugh some of it. I think there was one thing people were talking about. There was one with Matt Doherty on it, and he's kind of stroking his goatee beard, and people are saying, "What do you think about the goatee beard?" I think that was absurd. I'm more focused on when is he playing football and what he does then. Is he back from injury? Is what I want to know. He obviously is because he's back there training. But that's what I'm saying about their pre-season fitness regimes and stuff. These players, when they come back from injury, they're all on individual and team kind of conditioning programs. That's it. So players dropping out. People are reading into it. Oh, who's the last lad running there and stuff? Well, he could be told he's only got to do 4 of them rather than the rest of them run till you drop, basically. So yeah, it's just my little gripe.
Well, there you go, Martin having a right old fucking moan there about modern football. Fucking hell. Jesus.
Anyway, on our next Ireland away trip, I want someone follow me around with a video. I'm going to do a video diary from me going through Stansted Airport to landing in Dublin, and then you go so you can see that. I think that's entertaining.
Looking on the news, son, you won't be on fucking anywhere. Day 49 in Heathrow Airport. They won't even let me out. I just want to go across the fucking road. I mean, although good news about Troy Parrott, let's be honest, I do think he has developed as a player. According to a friend of mine, says that he would look good in shorts. Fair. But basically, look, he has developed as a player, and at Ipswich, it didn't really work out from MK Dons. Like, he really developed as a player in League One. He was, his build-up play, his development, excellent. He's done really well for Ireland too, so he is coming along. He's probably still a couple of years away from starting at Tottenham or making a real go at it. It's Tottenham, isn't it? They need results. They need him yesterday. That's just unfortunate cutthroat nature of football. But he is turning into a player. Rumour has it that I read in one of the comments there that Norwich City, he might be going on loan there in the Championship. Do you think he's ready to have a go in the Championship?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, without doubt. Yeah. I think hopefully at a club that understands the role he plays, though, because he doesn't always play the most focal part of the forward line. He can drop in deep. He can go out left a little bit as well. So very clever player. and it's not necessarily a case of him having to score goals because he does a lot of assists. That's what he did last year with MK Dons. Technically, very, very good. I think, though, yeah, it's a very important move for him to get a lot of game time because he's going to be in the Ireland squad. Let's be honest. Kenny loves him, but you got to remember he gave him a minute, didn't he, in one game, and then that made him hungry for the next game. And I know he scored the winner then, but it's how he's used. You got to remember it's not that long ago that Kenny went with him, didn't he, up front with Adam Eder in one of the early games, and it didn't really work out. But look, he's definitely one. He's going to be in our squads. Just needs to play now and learn the kind of his trade properly, and again, a competitive level. He'll get kicked the shit out of in the Championship. He'll be coming up against John Egan and Omar Bamadelli. They're not going to let him away with anything and stuff. They'll know his game and stuff. So he's got to be clever and adapt. It's not a bad thing. I think it would be a big challenge for him.
Absolutely. Let's move it on. So another rumor. Well, actually, it's not a rumor. Well, I think it's been done, actually. It's about to be done.
Yeah.
Kieran Clark going to Sheffield United. Do you know what I was getting?
This is why Nick's not on.
Yeah, I know, right? And his boy, because the only time we're ever going to fucking talk about him, because he won't be playing for Ireland anytime soon. Kieran Clark, I mean, Newcastle, Zidane Hendrick, as Jerry likes to call him, he won't be playing at Newcastle. They're looking to move to the next couple of levels, aren't they? Really, so they're going to get rid of them. And I don't mean to, Clark's a good pro. He is a good pro. He's a good player. He's a good lad. But they obviously want to move on to the next level, so they're going to be carrying a lot of these lads out. So yeah, sorry, Nick, you're not on, son. Tough luck. Let's have a little look now. Here's a funny thing, right? So this happened a couple of weeks ago, and Nick wasn't on, and he wanted to talk about it this week. And this involves Jake Clark-Salter. And of course, Nick's not on again this week. And I wanted to. So basically, this lad, Jake Clark-Salter, right? He won the youth the Under-17s World Cup with England, I think it was, back in 2017. Or sorry, the Under-20s World Cup in England in 2017. And now he realizes that he's Irish. Imagine that. Just out of thin air. Mm. Now he's a centre back and he's at QPR. Now obviously Declan Finnegan, if you're watching, I'm sure you are, you know about this lad. You know what he's about. You watch him at QPR. So if you got a comment, do let us know. And if anyone else has a comment about this, because we want to get your opinion on this. So here's a guy. There he is in an England shirt. I actually purposely put that picture up to wind Nick up. And it didn't work because he's not on. Anyway, so look, I'm going to read out. This is what he said. This was an interview with The Athletic, right? And you can see the comments up there if you're watching. So Jake Clark-Salter says, my grandma was born in Ireland, and all those my mum's side are pretty much Irish. So I qualified for Ireland as well. I haven't told anyone in the game that before. You were the first, he told The Athletic. Imagine that. That's the first he's letting people know about that in an interview that's going to be published. There you go. I would be able to it, yes. It is international football, so I want to play. I just have to keep doing my thing on the pitch, and if Ireland come calling, then me and my family will have a conversation. His family, have always supported me when I played for England, for the younger England age groups, but they encourage me to play for Ireland now too. Why is that, Jake? When you're a kid, you dream of playing in European Championships or World Cup. I've done it at youth level, so it's only natural for me to want to do it at senior level as well. Is he doing anything that certain other English-born Irish players have done? Is he doing something that they haven't done, although he's just doing it honestly and out in the open, and he's basically saying what they've done? I'm not describing that very well, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like he just has to be really open about it, and that seems to be a conversation a lot of English players.
Yeah, I mean, I've not read the full interview and why. Yeah. I've never really heard of him, to be honest. Why he's chosen to have an interview with The Athletic, I don't know if there's anything else, the context of that I might be missing. I'll have to catch up on that, to be honest. But I think
his granny was an Irish wolf gardener, Jerry Martin. Sorry.
I think the thing with this kind of situation, look, it's the rules that are the problem with this for me anyway. I think up to a certain stage, I think you should have to, when you sign your first pro contract or after the age of 17, basically, you have to declare which country your ambition is to play with. So I can understand some players going through the underage ranks in England who are kind of dual nationality in a way, or they qualify for Wales or Ireland, whoever it may be. And you got to remember African countries as well, with the kind of demographic of England, especially now. So I think that where it comes to a point is you can play underage for anybody, but I think when it comes to a stage where the qualifiers and it means a bit more, and I think as well, when you qualify and play in a tournament and you're part of that of a squad, you should have to say, look, I am playing for that. I declare for that country. That's how I see it, because that should then be your ambition to go forward in your career. Like he's not come through as a professional footballer and thinking I've got a contract and I've made it now once I'm at QPR. He's obviously thinking I want to go as high as possible club wise. Same thing as international. If you play for England or Ireland at underage level, up to a certain point, your aim should be qualifying at senior level, under 21 level, senior level, then for the Euros and the World Cup. Okay, that should be it. Nations League as well, if you want to add that in there, or the USA Cup if we want to go down that route again. But I think that's what it should be. It should be, and I think after a certain while you have to declare. So I'm not comfortable with this kind of situation. But look, it's a manipulation and abuse of the rules because they're there to have that. I mean, we've got so many players who, even now, like I just don't get it as well that you can play friendlies. It's a Declan Rice situation. You know, you can use it as a stepping stone then, and that's what Declan Rice did. I think it's a little bit different. Like, you know, Callum Robinson played England underage as well. But then, you know, and England weren't probably knocking down the door for him, but then he chose to play for Ireland. I don't think he's ever let us down.
No.
Sees himself very much as Irish now. And you go back in the history of our proud nation and players who were recruited by Jack, qualified for other countries, but he got them in the door and they've done a brilliant job for us. Some of the biggest legends in Irish football who are on our backdrop and everything like that, they're like were born in England or born in Scotland and scored incredible, valuable goals for us. So a lot of people probably don't know that.
Born in London.
So you've got to remember that, and that's the context of it. So I wouldn't be dismissive of someone just they're born in England or played England.
No, of course not.
I'm just not comfortable with the context of this. That it seems to be like the question. I'm not really good enough for England. That seems to be the context of that kind of interview with the Athletics there. That like the question. It seems to me as if it was and you're at QPR now. Are you looking to kind of get more? Who are you going to play for internationally? And like you've played, and he's there saying, well, actually, I don't really think I'm good enough for England, but I can also qualify for Ireland, and that's just a abuse of the rules.
I mean, look, I don't have an issue with any English-born, guys wanting to play for Ireland. If that was the case, Martin, we wouldn't let you near the podcast. But no, I mean,
what's the thing? Nationalisation, is that it? Is that the thing? When you're in your naturalization, yeah. So you'll be
4 years.
You'll be heading up to Wembley soon, will you?
4 years. 4 years. I'll get my fucking. I'll be throwing this. No. I mean, listen, absolutely. I mean, look at Trevor Sinclair. Only discovered he discovered his Irish roots after his playing career finished. So some lads do get it. They, and I have come across a lot of. Look, I've come across a lot of English-born, obviously yourself included, that like, no, I'm Irish. No, they're not players, but they do identify. I know some people back in Ireland might struggle to get their heads wrapped around that, and they understand that, but you do get English-born. You go to Ireland trips and you get people from all over with English accents, but they go to all the Ireland matches, to the away trips, from not just from London, from every part of England, as well, and Scotland and Wales. So I just think the way he's gone about it, I think he's probably been a bit too honest. And I know I'm going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth there, but I just think he's been too honest about it. I don't think what he's doing is any different from what other players have done, but they've just gone about it in a more discreet way. So he's probably shot himself in the foot there. But
yeah, is he doing that to kind of let it be known that I qualify for Ireland, so come looking at me, basically? Is it that? Because we surely
not
know,
the best
maybe
way
we
to
don't know. No, it's not. No, and I think that you can do that like quietly behind the scenes. Of, by the way, I'm interested in this. Come and look at me, and that could be a private conversation, basically. You don't need to do that.
I totally agree there. Let's have a little look at some of the comments there and we'll move it on. Declan Finnegan, he answered the question. Declan is always, hope you're doing well. Made his debut with QPR on Saturday against Crawley Town, played first half, and have to say he looked far more impressive than Jimmy Dunn, who replaced him in the second half. So there you go, some food for thought. But then here's the other side of the coin here from Darrell O'Connor watching on YouTube. We have an abundance of good centre backs. I wouldn't be chasing Jake anyway. That is true. I mean, it's the one position where we have a
litany. I get that point that we don't need, but like I think if you we don't necessarily have to chase this guy, but I think if we were going to rule him out because it's a case of he's saying that I qualify and stuff, we could have a player who qualifies, and if he's not even looked at and he kind of wants to be looked at, and he's in a position that we actually do need like a bit of quality, then we don't want to kind of rule out anyone off those kind of grounds just because he used to play for England and stuff and things like that. I'd be very hesitant to do that.
No, of course. We don't have an abundance of talent overall, but we do have an amazing centre back. Like, it's probably one of the strongest grouping of centre backs that we've had probably in a couple of generations. Graham Farrell, in my opinion, if you play for the under-21s, you're basically stuck playing for that nation. Unfortunately, FIFA have rules in place that you can play 21s and go to another nation. Don't get me wrong, he's a decent player, but don't come here and start saying stuff about I qualify and want to play for Ireland. Same with Dara Burns with Pats. He played for 2 years for Northern Ireland underage and now has come back to us. Just for any of the younger viewers, that actually used to be the rule back in the 80s, that if you played for the under-21s, you were tied to that nationality for the rest of your career. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, these rules have flip-flopped a lot, haven't they, as well? I mean, interestingly, like, we've got players who played and have senior capped friendlies for Ireland, and they might be a bit older now, but they could technically declare for another nation. So, for example, Killian Sheridan has only played 3 senior times for Ireland at friendly games, so he could technically move to another country if he qualified and do that. Because I remember a few years ago, a lot of late players came late to like Gibraltar. Mysteriously has that passion to play for Gibraltar in World Cup qualifiers and Euro qualifiers. Yeah. So because they qualified, obviously. So it is an interesting one. I mean, I think if you get a senior cap, I think you should be nailed. Again, that's a great point. Saying under 21s senior cap, I think is it.
Even in a friendly, even
I mean, look, we got the thing with Obafemi, didn't we? That I think they've even changed the rules recently. If you get capped, for example, that's like capping a senior player at 17. And then he might not make it and he's stuck with you forever. Whereas that would be wrong if you were manipulating that rule to do that. And I think there should be something to protect young players for that situation. For example, cap a 17-year-old to just have him and he can't move. And then you don't play him again until 25 and he could actually play and not have an international career with someone else. I think that would be wrong. So I think there should be some protection for young players up to 21, basically.
Okay. We'll have a look at some of the comments there and then we'll move it on. Jerry Murray, they're good enough taken. We'll give England the Dan Hendrick for him. And he continues, if his granny's fanny's from Ireland, he's Irish. Fair. That's one way of putting it. Irish Football Blog, welcome watching us on YouTube. Said when Ireland beat New Zealand, could you imagine the team we could field if the rules were similar to the rugby? Fofana, St. Maximum, Tony, Angelino, and Wan-Bissaka straight into the squad. And then just a final word on a Graham Farrell. Yeah, even if friendlies, Mark is right. It's crazy what's going on. Makes a joke of international football. Well, there you go, Mark. You're spot on there. Right, let's have a little. Oh yeah, actually, before we move on, just a little mention.
Oh yes, always good to beat them.
Always good to beat that lot across the water. Well done to the Republic of Ireland fans beating the English on foreign soil in the Jack Charlton Memorial Cup. So well done to those lads there. I say that was a hell of a piss up afterwards. Right, let's have a little look. We're coming to the end of it. We're going over a little bit, but we won't keep you guys for too much longer. We're going to have a little look at the social media watch. We don't have much because, Mark over there decided not to, he saw these great things on Twitter and said, no, I won't share that with Dave. Fucking thanks for that. So, here we are, social media watch. We're gonna just go on to, well, this made me chuckle, right? So Jason McAteer, good old Triggs, was going through I think it was Bangkok actually, as part of a Legends tour. Right?
Ironic, yeah.
I think it was back. Anyway, I don't want to put it up just yet, but anyway, he was going through and he found a mural on the wall. So here, look, in Thailand, yeah. So he found somebody painted a picture of him on the wall. Now I know there's a few people that look like to have him up against the wall. Roy Keane, not that way, but Roy Keane would love to have him lining up against the wall, I'm sure. But there you are. Jason McAteer, Fowler, Hipia, Garcia, and I think that's Jose Enrique. Jesus Christ! Like, why not just have fucking Stig Bjornaby and?
That's not the Legends who are playing in this thing, is it? Is that the Legends team that's playing in this thing?
It could be, yeah.
It's gotta be bullshit, isn't it?
It's gotta be bollocks. Has to be. Has to be. I don't want to live in a world where Jason McAteer is on a fucking wall in Thailand. I don't know why. It just winds me up. Jesus. Yeah, and sorry, I'll explain afterwards. Anyway, right. So we're going to move it on. We're coming to the end, Martin.
Right.
So it's all emotional. I know we're coming to the end of the show. We're going to have a little look on this week back in the day. I'm not even going to do the intro because it is, well, remembering the legendary Jack Charlton, who unfortunately died 2 years ago to the day yesterday. So second anniversary, Martin, of the legendary Big Jack. So we have a fantastic clip of Jack at his best after Ireland lose to Wales in the RDS.
Well, it's still a magnificent record you have, Jack, but I'm sorry I'm not able to congratulate you today.
Can't hear you for that lot up there.
Well, it's probably just as well because I was...
Shut up! Just shut up! Be quiet!
Congratulating Jack is not what we can do this afternoon. But that's Jack, as you can hear, trying to keep the crowd quiet.
I can't hear anything you're saying for them. Shut up a minute! Be quiet!
Well, what do you make of that match?
I wasn't happy. We looked at a lot of different things in my game. We looked to play people in different positions. We played on a strange pitch. Wales did unto us what we've been doing unto other people for 3 years. They closed us down, wouldn't let us play, played the ball in behind us, and they made us work hard, and we didn't work hard enough. And on the day, they deserve to win the game. I mean, we can go...
I actually,
brilliant.
That is Jack. When we put it up, I love Jack, and that's what I loved about him. He just didn't care. Yeah. My mum watched. I missed that match. I didn't know it was on. It was against Wales. I think we lost 1-0. And my mum was like, "Oh, you know, we lost." Like, "Oh, did we?" And she's like, "Oh, Jack was going mad at the crowd and everything." I never, until I saw it on Killian M2, the on Twitter, best Twitter channel out there. And I was like, oh my God, I finally found it. So, yeah.
That was brilliant. Yeah. So was that the RDS, was it? Yeah.
That was at the RDS. Yeah. Probably Rugby International, something going on there. Yeah. But
it's mad, isn't it? It's the thing. I was just thinking, because I recognised obviously the stand in the background and then barriers and stuff. It's mad. Like 2010, I think we last played there, RDS, Algeria. I think that was a World Cup. Yeah.
Yep.
It was because we played in the August, the opening of the Aviva against Argentina, and then we played against Algeria and another team. Did we go down to Thomond Park, I think, as well around that time as well?
That's right, Australia and South Africa. I think we lost to Australia 3-0 and then beat South Africa 3-0. But anyway, that's all we have time for this week. We're going to have a little look through the comments, just going to quick fire through those, and then we're going to leave you for another week. So let's get into it. Daryl O'Connor, only good part of Monday. Story, that's absolutely Daryl. Kieran, lads, what's the crack with the tiny transfer fees for League of Ireland players? Mandrew is peanuts, Seamus Coleman stuff. Maybe Nathan Collins will put an end to it. Away to Jason Umbro. Hashtag go on Adidas. Kieran, I hope you're enjoying those stickers that we sent over to you. And by the way, speaking of which, if you want your stickers, your Green Machine stickers, so you can plaster them all over the place, we'll plead ignorance. Just send us a private message. We are going to set up a Google form and you can fill it out. And I know I've been saying this all week, but we're going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to put a link out there and you can fill it out. We'll send you off a load of stickers. Martin has moved into stickers as well as tickets.
Yeah. And we will have a prize for the best place where they are displayed with a photograph.
Prize for the best place. We will have absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get imaginative. Get creative. Absolutely.
Yeah. No nudity ones. Well, unless David wants them sent
private messages. You have my DM. Right. Just saying, yeah.
That was actually suggested, wasn't it? We recently suggested that on a photo that we'd been sent by Nick on his holiday. We said, make sure you go and put 2 stickers there.
Was enough 4? One for no. No, he's not watching this.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. God, see what happens when the moral compass of the podcast is not on. It goes to shit. The Jordan Henderson. And go on the stickers. Wow, good man. Paul Culleton on YouTube. Will Sunderland be the perfect lawn for the upcoming season for Troy Parrott? I think so. It's championship.
Yeah. Nice one, Paul. I hope you're looking forward to Sunday, Paul, up in Croke Park. Good Kenny man, that man.
I think he asked you about that there later on. Dennis Grinnell. Love the show, gents, but I'll have to listen at a later date via podcast. No problem. And speaking of which, if you want to watch the podcast version of this, please, you can go onto the Facebook page / the GM podcast, or you can go to the website where our entire archive is. That's greenmachinepodcast.com. That is greenmachinepodcast.com, where we've actually just recently finished up our 2002 20th anniversary series, Nick's Love Child, which he's not on to tell you about, but he loves it. And it's on there. If you want to listen to Nick opining and absolutely wanking all over the 2002 World Cup, that's where it is. Get that image in your head.
I only grimace at some of your language at that, David, because I get told off by my mum for your utter filth. And I do say to her, it is after the watershed, Mum, and that's just
after
David.
The watershed.
And I think you met. I don't know if you've met David, but you probably will never be allowed to.
I actually have met your mum.
You have,
in Ireland, and you said that's the one that swears a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, and she did tell you off.
Downhill for that.
She told you off. Yeah. Downhill. Just on that photo of the 2002 World Cup, I know we're running over time a little bit, but we haven't given a mention. Stephen Reid leaving Nottingham Forest.
Yes, he did. I know he started the Stephen Reid Academy, and I think it was more like sports psychology, that sort of thing. And he has cited his own mental health issues over his playing career. So best of luck to him. Yeah. I don't think he'd be coming to Ireland. Not that he's not good. I just think he wants to go down a different path, really, doesn't he? I think it's obviously...
Yeah, I think we'd be a bit... I think Kenny should definitely have a conversation with him, though, because it could suit him coming in and out of there. You think of the likes of David Ford, who comes in for the psychology stuff. I think that's very important when you've got to channel the players' attention in 3 to 4 days of a camp, of making sure their mindset's right. I think he can bring up something else. And I think it's a good idea. I think a good article, actually, wasn't there recently about the departure of John Eustace?
Yep, it was on there. And
you shared that. Yeah,
and somebody had a go at me. I have my own troll. My own a few of them on there, but had to go missing because we had 2 good results with the Ireland team. So buried her head in the sand, then came back and then started saying, "Oh, I'm surprised you didn't blame that on John Delaney." Thinks I'm picking on John Delaney. She does. Right. Doesn't like Stephen Kenny, but thinks John Delaney sound.
Right.
There you are. Christ. Paul Culleton, is Burnley really good move? Josh Conn, bit of a sideways move.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Paul Culleton, surely if Gavin Kilkenny's playing week in, week out in Championship for Stoke, he's surely ahead of Derby County's Conor Hourihane and Stephen Kenny's plans. 100%. Nothing against Conor Hourihane, but I think his days in green are over. Jerry Murray, the Wolves fans are holding their AGM in the phone box later. Quick message for yourself, Paul Culleton. Where will Martin be watching our beloved Kilkenny this weekend's All-Ireland Hurling final? And have we any chance of upsetting the odds and beating Limerick to claim another All-Ireland?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I'm going to be confident. I'm actually going to be confident on this. I think it's destiny. I think it's going to be that Brian Cody will win the All-Ireland and then leave Kilkenny as a champion once again. And TJ Reid, I think, have put in an amazing performance. But where am I watching it? Sadly, I'm not able to get over, and it's gutting that I'm not. I didn't even I lost complete track of the dates, to be honest. And I've got something else on a family thing that I can't get over. But yeah, all the family going up and looking forward to it. So yeah, I'll watch on the TV. Actually, I've said, I'm getting a bit older now. right? And I've been to many All Irelands over the years, and I've seen Man United win trebles and things like that, Dave. And I think there's an awful lot to be said for watching things on the TV, like sport. You get so much great kind of the commentary and everything like that. Is being at the game, you miss an awful lot, don't you?
Has your wife like finally?
No.
Is this your coming to terms with it? That Mrs. Martin Prendergast has said, "No, that's it, Martin. You're not coming to anymore."
You can look at my tweet to my wife yesterday at Prendiem. I don't know if you've seen yesterday my interaction. She's not very on Twitter much, but the thing about the Wimbledon final when Kyrgios called out the woman who was distracting during the game and said,
wife, was it?
700. Well, I actually said, just to confirm, she's with me. She's not at Wimbledon. 700 drinks, because she was not pleased.
I thought that was rich coming from him. But yeah, join us next week anyway for Martin Talks GAA on the Green Machine podcast.
That's it.
What the fuck, man? Graham Farrell, what do you think of McGoldrick and Hourihane going to Derby? Think they're good signings, McGoldrick especially. Good for Derby.
Good for the players. Good for the players as well. They're good moves at their ages. They're still on decent wages, a lot of them. They'll get football there. Look, these lads come to the end of their careers. It's an interesting one. I think it just shows us what honest pros our Irish lads are. They're all sound lads. I think Clark, because it's Sheffield United, isn't it? He's gone to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the manager of Sheffield United, when he's recruiting and bringing in a player, he's going to be chatting to lads who know him from an international squad. And John Egan's going to be saying, yeah, he's a really good lad. Bring him in. This is what you're going to get from him.
Yep.
We're a very close-knit little group, our Irish lads, to be fair. And I think they're looking after each other there. And the Derby one's a weird one, isn't it? We've got a couple of lads going out the door, even Collins going from Burnley and Josh Cullen coming in. These clubs do trust our Irish lads, really, which is good to see.
Unfortunately, they're fucking way down the food chain.
Yeah.
But anyway, Val Maguire, who's joined us a bit late. Val, how you doing? It's rumored that Nathan Collins is going to Wolves. It is indeed, Val. I know you probably missed the first part when we were talking about it, but you can go back and have a look at it. It looks like it's a pretty done deal, about 20.5 million pounds. Going on further on a bit. I think I saw a couple of comments there actually about the 12th of July. I don't know if they've been
Jesus.
They've been removed. I just wanted to push the envelope a little bit more. But yeah, we got a couple. What's wrong with McAteer? Nothing, Graham. He's a good lad. It's just, he's not a Liverpool legend, let's be honest. He's an Ireland legend for getting that goal against Holland and annoying Roy. If you annoy Roy Keane, you're good in my books. He's a good lad. Isn't that right? No. We'll get Martin off on a tangent. Right. Jerry Murray, good night, lads. Brilliant as usual. I'm now off to watch Pornhub. Hope it's exciting as you too. I assure you, Jerry, it's not.
Oh, Jesus.
Greg Foley, how you doing, Greg? Did he wait for B course in Athlone in 2011? McAteer and McManaman were in it. Jay was a bit of a gobshite. Stephen Mack was class, really nice lad. Zero interest in coaching, just came for the crack. That was the time that Barnes McAteer took over at Tranmere. They got sacked a few months later. I'll never forget watching that with my mate Frank on Sky Sports News.
Brilliant.
And he just turns around and goes, God help them.
Jeez. they're trying to put the bike into the car when they got sacked. One of them had a bike, didn't it? And that's so comical, that was. I have heard as well, like I've heard, I'm not being anti-Liverpool here. I've heard Manaman apparently is really sound. I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah, he seems like a down-to-earth lad. Shame he fucked off to Real Madrid, man, for a free, but anyway. And won 2 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, scored in the final.
Absolutely. Graham Farrell, I love the team spirit we've always seemed to have throughout the years. Absolutely. And Graham Farrell, the last one, Dave, big time. Roy Keane is a tool. God, get that man a sticker.
Right. Announce our special guest for next week.
Graham. Right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Martin, thank you for joining us too.
No worries.
As always, a pleasure. We'll be back next Monday with the latest news, of course. If you want to get the podcast version of this, pop over to our website, greenmachinepodcast.com. That will become available and it'll be uploaded after the show. Also, Irish football blogs have a lovely little podcast over on their own little channel. Sorry, not little channel. That sounds so demeaning, doesn't it? Pelcast. Have a listen to Pelcast over there on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And give those guys a hello. Very supportive of us, actually, Pelcast. Always mention us on Twitter. So we do appreciate that. They're good guys. And you know what? That's the way it is, lads. There's plenty of room for all of us. out there with Irish football. There's so much ground to cover when it comes to Irish football. So we always like to give everyone a helping hand. So give those guys a follow. They're good lads. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thanks, Martin, again. Thank you all for joining us. We wish you hopefully get some sleep tonight. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight because it's boiling, and I think this thing has melted into my ears. Anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. Good night. God bless, and we'll catch you next Monday.